Hello, everybody. Hello, hi, welcome to today's live. If you can hear me, can you say hello? Are we able to hear each other? No, obviously I cannot hear you. I mean, can you hear me? Oh, great. Hello. All right. Welcome to today's live. Hello, everybody. Hello. Oh, great. Welcome to today's live. I am Coach Shahira. We are going to conduct a live lesson on area and perimeter today. Tell us a joke. Okay, I will tell you a silly story at the end of today's live, okay? So for those of you who are going to stay with us all the way through, I am going to share with you a silly story at the end of today's live, okay? All right. Hello. For those of you who are here, can you please try question 1? Hello, Shakil. Thank you for joining. Hello, everybody. All right. Are we able to see the screen well? I hope we can see the screen. Okay. For those of you who just joined, welcome to today's live primary 6 PSLE Maths revision on area and perimeter conducted by MasterMaths. I am Coach Shahira. We will be starting in 2 minutes time. 2 minutes time. Hello, Jess. Hi. Okay. Welcome, everyone. I hope you're having a great evening. How's everybody's holiday so far? All good? For those of you who are already here, please try question 1. We will begin in 2 minutes' time. Hello. Hi, Maya. Hello. Welcome. Regina, you are very funny. I will let Coach Irfan know about this. Those of you who just joined, good evening. My name is Coach Shahira. We are doing area and perimeter today. This is applicable for students in primary 5 and primary 6 levels. If you're not in these levels, you can also join in and listen. For those of you who stay with us all the way till the end of today's live, I will be telling you a very silly story, okay? All right. Please try question 1 now. I am going to explain in 1 minute's time. Hello, Hira. All right. It is now 8:05 p.m. Let's begin. Okay, for those of you who just joined, again, my name is Coach Shahira. We are doing area and perimeter today on PSLE Maths revision. Okay, this is useful for those who are in primary 5 and primary 6. If you're not in these levels, you are also welcome to listen. Okay, all right. Okay, let's begin with question number 1. The area of a rectangle is 72 cm square. Its length is twice its breadth. We know that the length is 2 times of the breadth. Find the length of the rectangle. Alright, so for these types of question, what I would suggest for everybody to do is to go and draw out this rectangle. So we have a rectangle whose length is 2 times of its breadth. Okay, so I am going to cut this somewhere in the center to show that this is 2 times of the breadth. Something like this. Okay, so I have 1 unit here, I have 1 unit there, to show twice of the breadth. Okay, now we are asked to find the length of the rectangle. We know that the area of the rectangle is 72 cm square. So to solve this question, what a lot of students will do is to take 72 divided by 3. This is not right. 72 is the area. Okay, and to relate area to the length, what we can do is to first look for the area of 1 square. Let me make this a little bit thicker. We can look for the area of 1 square, which is 72 cm square divided by 2. We will get 36 cm square. Okay, we will get 36 cm square. Okay, so for this square, one tiny square here, the area is 36 cm square. Do you think we can find the length of a square if we have the area? Do you all remember how to find the length of a square if we have the area? Okay, what we should do is to go and look for square roots. Okay, so the length of square, which is our 1 unit here, would be square root of 36 cm square to give us 6 cm. Okay, so that means this is 6 cm. The breadth here is going to be 6 cm. Okay, therefore the length of the rectangle is going to be our 2 units, so that's 6 cm times 2 to give us 12 cm. The correct answer for this question is number 1. Okay, the correct answer for this question is number 1. For those of you who are saying that you have not learned square root yet, no worries. You can also rewrite this as 36 cm square equals to blank times blank, which is actually just 6 cm times 6 cm. Okay, this is another way that you can write the equation. Alright, of course we have learned squares in primary 4, so you would have known that if the area is 36 cm square, I need 2 same numbers multiplied by each other to give me the length of a square. So the length of a square is going to be 6 cm if the area is 36. Okay? Alright. Do we understand how to solve this question now? Okay, anybody with any questions? Okay, if not, let's continue. For those of you who just joined, hi, my name is Coach Shahira from MasterMaths. We are conducting a PSLE Maths Revision live class. Today's topic will be on area and perimeter. Okay? Before we go on, can I give you 5 seconds? 5 seconds to help me go and spam the like button. Can you help me spam the like button, please? I see all the likes coming in. Thank you very much. Thank you for spamming the like buttons, everybody. Alright, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's continue with question 2. Okay, let's continue with question 2. question number 2. Question number 2. The figure below is formed using 5 identical rectangular tiles. Okay, so take note that we have identical tiles here. The perimeter of each tile is 22 cm. We are looking at perimeter. How many of you know the other word for perimeter? What is another word for perimeter? Do we know? Give you a clue, it starts with an O. What is another word for perimeter? Don't get confused. Perimeter and area are 2 separate things, okay? What do you think is another word for perimeter? It starts with an O. I see, Ian, you're getting it right. Well done. Okay, a lot of you are getting it right. Indeed, it is outline. Fantastic. So perimeter tells us the outline. Okay, so the outline of one tile is 22 cm. If you are interested, let's talk a little bit about area. What do you think is another word for area, or 2 words? What other ways can I talk? What other words can I use to describe area? If perimeter is outline, what is area? 2 words. Starts with an S and an I. Do we know? What is area? Something inside. Something inside. Okay, what inside? Starts with an S. Do we know? Area is the space inside. Okay, area is the space inside. So if we are looking at perimeter, we are looking at the outline. If we want to find the area, it is the space inside. Okay, well done, Anis, you are right. Okay, so let's continue with this question. We are told that each tile is 22 cm. The perimeter is 22 cm. So let me draw it out for you. I have a tile here, and the perimeter is 22 cm. Okay, the question is asking for the perimeter of the figure formed below. Do we know how to solve this question? How do we solve this question? Any ideas? Okay, can I give all of you about 2 minutes to think about this? Okay, 2 minutes to think about this. Let me pull out my timer. Okay, 2 minutes to think about this. Okay, can you try this now? How should we do this? Some of you have gotten it right. Wow, good job. For those of you who are not so sure, let me give you a clue, okay? Let me give you a clue. This question, we only need to use 1 step to solve. Only 1 step. Okay? Only 1 step to solve. What do you think is the answer? Shawati, you have gotten it right. Well done. The rest of us, what do we think is the answer here? You have less than 1 minute left. Alright, I see. A lot of you are starting to give the correct answer. That's great. Raj Selvi, well done. What do you think is the answer here? Final 25 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's go through this answer. Okay, before that, I realize you cannot see my face. In case you miss me too much, let me show you my face back again. Okay, so for those of you who just joined, hi, welcome to today's live class conducted by MasterMaths. We are going through the topic of area and perimeter. So please tune in and join in if you're interested. If you would like to get the worksheet, they can be found on our Telegram channel, okay? They can be found on our Telegram channel. The link is at the top left corner of the screen, okay? So let's go through this question. Now, what I want to teach you today, okay? The first thing that I want you all to remember today is this method that I'm going to introduce. It's going to be called the push-out method, okay? Let me write it at the side. Oops. Let me write it at the side here. This is called the push-out method. Okay, so what is the push-out method? What we are going to do is we are going to push out the lines that we see so that we can look at it as a bigger, more uniformed figure, okay? So I'm going to push this line out. I will get something like this. Okay, if I push this out, I will get this here. Similarly, if I push this out, push every single line out, okay, all the way out, we are going to realize that the figure is going to be none other than a large rectangle. Okay, let me draw it out for you. We have this line here, this line there, okay, this line followed by that line. All the way through, we will get one large rectangle using the push-out method. Okay, we will get one large rectangle using the push-out method. Alright, so if we have a figure made up of tiles like this, identical tiles, and they are not very uniformed, okay, they are placed in a very funny way like you see in the screen here, what we can use is the push-out method. The push-out method will help us see the perimeter of the diagram, which is going to be the same as a large rectangle. Again, I am pushing this one out here, pushing this line out here. Okay, all the vertical lines, I am actually pushing them out. Can we all see this? Okay, so I'm just going to push this out, and once I have pushed them out, I am going to get one large rectangle. Okay, and the large rectangle here is going to help me in figuring out the perimeter of the figure. Okay, so let me finish highlighting for you. We are going to have one large rectangle, and this large rectangle, okay, is going to be made up of, if we call this the breadth and call this the length, we are going to have breadth, 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 breadth. So the figure is made up of 6 breadth. Okay, and on the other side we have length. In fact, the whole thing here is basically just 3 length. Okay, and so on both sides we will have 6 length. So in total, I am going to have 6 length and 6 breadth. This is what I am looking for. Okay, this is what I am looking for. Alright, so again, this push-out method will help me see this very funny figure in a simpler way, which is just a large rectangle. And this large rectangle is going to be made up of 3 of the small breadth on each side and 3 of the length on each side. Okay, so I have 3 breadth, 3 length, and times 2 on both sides, I will get 6 breadth and 6 length. So using these things here, I know, oops, let me remove this. Okay, using this here, I know that 2 breadth and 2 length give me 22 cm. Okay, so if I know 2 breadth and 2 length is 22 cm, this is one tile. I am looking for the figure. I am just looking for 6 breadth and 6 length. So from 2 to 6, I need 2 times 3. Similarly, from 22, I also times 3 to give us 66. So the final answer is 66 cm. Okay, so the final answer for this question is 66 cm. Any questions? Alright, so I hope you remember this method. It is called the push-out method. The push-out method is very useful for when we are looking for perimeters of composite figures. Okay? For those of you who get correct, Khan, well done. Great. Raj, you got it right. Well done. Any questions so far? Okay. For those of you who just joined, welcome to MasterMaths live class on TikTok and Instagram. Alright, we are conducting a live class right now and we are on the topic of area and perimeter. For those of you who just joined, please remember to follow us, give us a like, and share this live with all of your friends and families and relatives. Okay, share this live with all of your friends and family so that we can all learn together. Okay, for those of you who are asking where are we getting the materials, the worksheet is free to download. You can find them on the Telegram channel above here. Okay, can you see the Telegram channel here? Okay. Alright, we are going to move on to the third question for the day. Let's aim to end this live before 9 o'clock, okay? Let's aim to end this before 9 o'clock in case you guys have other plans during your holidays. I do not want to take up much of your time as well. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Before we go on, any questions? Anybody with any questions? Okay, if not, can you help me spam the like button one more time? I see a lot of like buttons coming in. Thank you very much. Can you help me spam the like button, please? Alright. So many of you going Malaysia tomorrow. Wow. That's nice. I am going to Malaysia next week. In case you're wondering. Alright. So how did I get 66? I have a question coming in. 66 here is because when I've used the push-out method, this figure is made up of 3 lengths on either side. So in total, I have 6 lengths and 3 breadths on either side. Okay, so in total, 6 breadths. So 2 breadth and 2 length from one tile is 22 cm. So 6 breadth and 6 length will give us 66 cm. Okay? There is going to be a TikTok next week, okay? Don't worry. So I'll see you guys next week as well. Don't worry, okay? Alright, let's go on to question number 3. Okay, let's go on to question number 3. Alright, question number 3. There is a small error in question 3. Can you help me change it, please? For those of you whose worksheet, your square is not called C, can you please change it to C? If your worksheet says your square is D, can you please change it to C? Okay, this is not D, this is C. Alright, all good? Okay. Alright, so let's take a look at question 3. The figure below is made up of 2 squares A and C. I have square A. I have square C. And 2 rectangles B and D. Okay? The total perimeter of the 2 rectangles is 80 cm. The area of square A is 64 cm squared. So I know that square A has an area of 64 cm squared. Alright, so we are asked to find the area of square C. For those of you who are interested, this question is actually a modified PSLE question. This is an actual PSLE modified question, yeah? So only the numbers have changed here. The question type is largely the same. Okay, so let's take a look at this question. Once we know the area of a square, just like in question 1, we can look for the length of the square. Okay, square root 64 is 8. So the length of A is going to be square root 64, which is 8. For those of you who have not learned square roots, you can also take 64 equals to 8 times 8. Since each side of the square must be the same, so each side must be 8 cm. Okay? This is one clue for you. I am going to give you 3 minutes to solve this question. Okay? Can you try this question now? I'm going to give you 3 minutes to solve this question. Alright, how are we doing so far? A lot of you have gotten the answer as number 3. Is that right? This is a modified PSLE question, okay? Alright. Wow, so many of you have gotten it right. So many. Fantastic. Do you think you still need the time? You have 2 minutes left. The rest of us, how are we doing? Everything good? If you're not very sure of how to continue, I'm going to give you another clue. We can call this the length of C. Okay, we can call this the length of C. We know that the breadth of B is also 8. And the breadth of D is also 8. Okay? Alright. I'm going to explain how to solve this question in 1 minute's time. Those of you who have gotten 3, do you think that is right? Remember to check your answers. For those of you who are done, always check your answers, okay? Alright. Question number 3 is the answer 3. Alright, it's 8:28 p.m. Let's go through this question. Now, since we know the length of A is 8 cm, okay, because the area is 64, we then also know that the breadth of B and D is 8 cm respectively, okay? So if we look at the perimeter of B and D, we will get 8 times 4 plus length times 4, okay? Perimeter of B and D, let me use blue here, is the same as 8 times 4 plus length times 4. Okay, everybody able to see this? Okay, because this is length, 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 8, 8, 8, 8 respectively. Okay? So the perimeter of B and D is 8 times 4 plus length times 4. Now 8 times 4 is going to give us 32. And length times 4 is just 4 of the length, okay? We know that this 32 plus 4 length is the same as 80. This is given in the question. Therefore, 4 length is going to be 80 minus 32. 80 minus 32 will give us 48. Okay, where did we get 4 from? I see 1, 2, 3, 4 of the length. And I see 8, 8, 8, 8, 4 of 8s. Okay? Okay? So 4 length will give us 48. Therefore, the length of C will be 48 divided by 4 to give us 12. Okay? 48 divided by 4 will give us 12. Is everything okay, Akila? Are you able to see clearly now? Let me move this down for you. Okay. So now that I know the length is 4, I can find the area of C, that is going to be 12 times 12 to give us 144. Congratulations for those of you who got answer number 3. Well done. Okay, any questions so far? How's everybody doing? Any questions so far? Okay, for those of you who just joined, welcome to today's live lesson on TikTok and on Instagram. My name is Coach Shahira. We are going through PSLE Math Revision. P5 and P6 students are free to join. For those of you who are not P5 and P6, you may also join in to listen, okay? We are doing area and perimeter today. We are on question 3 of 5. So we have 2 more questions after this. Alright, for those of you who are still not so sure, let me explain one more time. I have the perimeter of B. Okay, the perimeter of B is the same as 2 length and 2 times breadth, which is 8 cm. Okay, and the perimeter of D is 2 length and 2 breadth as well, which is 8 cm. Okay, 2 length and 2 times 8 cm as well. So from here, we have 4 length and 4 times 8 cm for perimeter of B and D. Okay? Alright, any questions so far? If you have no questions before we go on, can you once more help me spam the like button? Thank you very, very much for those of you who are liking this live. Thank you very much. For those of you who just joined, again, welcome. We are on the topic of area and perimeter. My name is Coach Shahira from MasterMaths. For those of you who are wondering where we have gotten the materials from, they can be found on our Telegram channel. Let me zoom out a little bit so that you can see the link, which is on the top left corner of the screen. Okay? Alright. I am going to continue in 5 seconds. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's move on to question 4. Prospero Bakes, thank you very much for your very enthusiasm likes. Let's make this live reach 20k likes. Wow. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go on to question number 4. Okay? Question number 4. In question 4, triangle RST overlaps triangle STU to form the figure below. The ratio of the heights of RST to STU is 5:9. So we know that RST's height is 5 units and STU's height is 9 units. Okay? And the question told us that the area of STU is 120 cm greater than the area of triangle RST. Okay? 128 cm greater than the area of triangle RST. The area of the total figure is 350 cm square. We want to find the area of the shaded part. Okay? We want to find the area of the shaded part. Do you think you can solve this on your own, guys? What do you think? We don't have a lot of values. We only know the total area is 350 cm square. We also know the difference between STU and RST. The difference in area is 120 cm square. We also know the ratio of the heights. So how do we solve this question? Okay, how do we solve this question? Everybody try now. I will explain this question in 5 minutes time. Okay, 5 minutes time. If you think this is too tough or you need some hints, you can type into the chat box and say, help coach. Okay, you can say that and I will give you some hints. Thank you for spamming the like, everybody. Thank you for spamming the like button. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for also joining the live tonight. Okay. How do we solve this question? For those of you who got the answer as number 4, if you got the answer as number 4, try again. Oh, I see so many help. Alright, let me give you one hint, okay? The first learning point for this question, which is the second learning point for the day. Okay, the first learning point for this question, second learning point for the day is, we have triangles with a common base. Okay, for triangles with common base, we can conclude that the height ratio is going to be equal to the area ratio. Okay, we can conclude that the height ratio will be equal to the area ratio. Okay, because they have a common base. This is my hint for you, which is the second learning point for the day. If you have triangles with a common base, the height ratio is going to be the same as the area ratio. Okay, so the first thing that you can start writing is the height ratio for triangle RST to triangle STU is 5:9. Therefore, the area ratio is also the same, 5:9. Okay? Alright. Height ratio equals to area ratio. Okay, for those of you who don't understand why this is true, let me write down for you why this is true. Let me find a space, maybe up here. Okay. If you are not so sure, I will help you write this down. The area of RST out of the area of STU is going to be half times base ST times height 5 units out of half times base ST times height 9 units. Okay? And because of this, we can do cancellation. Whatever that appears on the top and the bottom, we can cancel since they have the same base. Therefore, we can conclude that the area ratio is also 5/9. Okay, this is why it is true. Okay, this is the first learning point for this question, which is second learning point for the day. Alright, now more of you are getting the answer right. Good job. I will explain in 1 minute's time, okay? Alright, let's go everybody. How are we doing so far? Do we still need more help? How's things going? Alright, now it's 8:39. Let me run through the solution. Okay, let me run through the solution. I'm going to start from the very beginning one more time, yeah? So we know that the area of RST and STU share the same base. They share the same base, which is ST. If they share the same base, we know that the height ratio is equal to the area ratio. Why is this so? Because if we write down the area of RST, this is half times base ST times height 5 units. Half times base ST times height 5 units. Okay? And the area of triangle STU is going to be half times base ST times height 9 units. Now because whatever we see at the top and the bottom, we can cancel. Okay, we can simplify this fraction. So ST and ST also cancel. Okay, ST and ST also cancel. We will get the area ratio to be 5 out of 9, which is the same as the height of RST and height of STU respectively. Okay, therefore we can conclude that when we have a common base, the height ratio is the same as the area ratio. Okay, it's a little bit blurry. Let me move it. Some of you are saying that it's blurry. I hope you can see this better now. Okay, alright, so with that we know that the area ratio is 5:9 as well for these two triangles, and the difference is going to be 9U minus 5U to give us 4 units, which is 120 given to us in the question. Okay, alright, so 4 units will be 120, therefore 1 unit will be 30. Okay, we are just dividing by 4 here. 1 unit will be 30. Alright, so far so good, everybody? Okay, so that was the first learning point for this question. Now the second learning point is going to come in a second. Okay, everybody good? Alright. Now the second learning point here, we know that the total figure is 350 cm square. Okay, the total figure is 350 cm square. So let me show it to you. I am going to break this figure up into 3 parts. Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. Okay, Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. I know that Part 1 and Part 2, Part 1 and Part 2 is triangle RST. Part 2 and Part 3 is going to be triangle STU. Okay, Part 1 and Part 2 is RST, Part 2 and Part 3 is STU. So far so good? Okay, and this will give us a total of 5 units plus 9 units, which is 14 units. So 14 units is the same as 14 times 30. 14 units is the same as 14 times 30. I realize some of you can't see the corner very well. Let me move it in. Okay, 14 times 30 will give us an answer of 420. Okay, so this would be 420. Alright? So far can understand? Okay, I'm taking it a little bit slow here because this question is jam-packed with a lot of useful things to remember, yeah? So I'm taking it a little bit slow here. Why 14 times 30? Because 1 unit is 30. Okay? Why 1 unit is 30? The difference given to us in area is 120. So far so good? Fazrin? Okay? Alright. So now that I know 2 triangles add up to 420 cm square, I also know that the total figure is just 1 and 2 and 3 together, which is 350. 1 and 2 and 3 together, which is 350. Okay? For those of you who are stuck at 420, how I got 420, let me explain one more time. Triangle RST is 5 units. And triangle STU, let me use a slightly different color. STU is 9 units. Okay, that's how I get 14 units. 1 unit is 30, 14 units will be 420. The total figure is 1, 2, and 3, which is 350. So 1, 2, and 3 gives me 350. So to find out number 2, the shaded part is number 2. This is going to be 420 minus 350, to give us 70. So the correct answer is option number 2. Okay, the correct answer is option number 2. Alright, do we understand this now? All good? How are we doing so far? Fantastic! Those of you who got right, Khan, well done. Shawati, excellent job. Great. Any questions so far? Any questions? We are down to the last one already, so don't give up, everybody. Don't give up. Okay, one last question for the day. Okay, one last question for the day. Alright. For those of you who just joined, welcome. My name is Coach Shahira. We are on the topic of area and perimeter in our PSLE Maths Revision Live class. The notes can be found in our Telegram channel. The link is on the top left corner of the screen. Okay? Alright. Before I go on, if you have learned a thing or two in this question, can you give me a like, please? In fact, can you give me 1,000 likes? Please help me spam the like button. Okay, thank you very much. While you are spamming the like button, I am going to explain the 2 learning points one more time. The first learning point, very important, when we have common base, the ratio of our heights is the same as the ratio of the areas. Okay, this is the very important learning point for this question. The second learning point for this question, let me write it out below. If we have overlapping areas, okay, for overlapping areas, if I want to find area of overlap, okay, overlap area is going to be the sum of shapes, okay, sum of areas of the shapes minus away the total figure. Okay, sum of areas of the shapes minus away total figure. Alright? Okay, now this technique here applies whenever you have overlapping areas. Okay, when you have 2 overlapping shapes. Okay, when you have 2 overlapping shapes, this applies. Doesn't matter whether it's a circle, a square, rectangle, diamond, rhombus, parallelogram. Whenever you have overlapping areas, this applies. Okay? Alright? This applies for when you have 2 overlapping shapes. Thank you very much, everybody, for all your likes. I am going to move on to the last question for the day. The last question for the day. Okay? I will zoom in. For those of you who want the screen to be bigger, I will zoom in, don't worry. Let's move on to question number 5. Okay, question number 5. Have we seen such a question before, guys? Have we seen such a question before? Alright, let's take a look at question 5. The figure below shows a rectangular grass patch and an L-shaped footpath. The footpath is tiled using 44 circular tiles of diameter 50 cm. Okay, it follows the pattern here. Alright, each tile is in contact with those next to it. We want to find the perimeter of the grass patch. So the perimeter of the grass patch, we are looking at this portion here. Okay, we are looking at this portion here. Okay, this portion here. Alright, so to solve this question, it will help if we can name this the length of the grass patch and this as the breadth of the grass patch. Okay? Alright, can you try this question now? Can you try this question now? If you need some help, again, please type into the chat. Ask me for help. I will give you all the help you can get. Okay? If you need an SOS, you can type it in the chat. I see so many SOS already. Let me give you a hint. The first thing you want to do is to box up these 4 tiles here. Okay, these 4 circular tiles here. Alright, these 4 circular tiles here. Okay, and then we are going to do something called the cut and paste technique. We are going to do something called the cut and paste technique. Let me bring this down below, and I will show you the cut and paste technique, which is something like this. Okay, something like this. Okay, this is the cut and paste technique. My circles are drawn not very nice. Please bear with it. Okay, not very accurate here, but please bear with it. What I'm doing here is just cutting and pasting the circles and the tiles at the bottom all the way upwards. Okay, so what I'm doing is a cut and paste technique. Alright, okay, so what I'm doing is looking for the perimeter of the footpath. Using the cut and paste technique, this is what I will get. Okay, this is my clue for you. Alright, are you able to solve the question now with this clue? Okay, if you need more clues, let me highlight this out. This is our length. If I were to use different colors, I think it will be a bit more helpful. Let's change this to purple. This is the length. So this is the length. Okay, and the breadth will be here, which after cutting and pasting we will get this. So I will have length, breadth. Okay, the length and the breadth of the grass patch. Okay, all right. Okay, how are we doing so far? I'm going to explain in 1 minute's time. All right, 1 minute's time. Okay. Not good, Baker Flow. Why are you not doing good? Let me explain one more time for you, okay? Let me explain one more time for you. Don't give up. One more time. If we use cut and paste technique, I am going to put everything here upwards. Okay, so that I will get a rectangular footpath instead. Okay, and then my length is the same as above. The breadth of the grass patch is going to be moved upwards because I cut and paste, right? So it's going to be moved upwards. Okay, so how do we solve this question? How do we solve this question? Alright, it's 8:54. Let me explain to you the solution now, alright? Let me explain to you the solution. Okay, so I know that in total there are 44 circular tiles. Okay, 44 circular tiles. Let me move this up. Okay, in total there are 44 circular tiles. I also know that the diameter of each tile, let me write it for you, is 50 cm. So inside here it's 50 cm. Okay, this is given by the question. So if I have 44 circular tiles, I cut away this portion that I'm not interested in. Okay, so 44 minus 4 tiles, I will get 40 tiles. Okay, 40 tiles. So 40 tiles is both in the top and the bottom. So I have 2 rows. Got it? 40 tiles is 2 rows. So if I want to look for the number of rows at the top, I will, or rather how many tiles in the top, I can just take 40 divided by 2 to give me 20. This is 1 row. Okay, the tiles in 1 row. So far so good? the tiles in one row. And in one row, I already take away the middle portion. I am going to get the 20 tiles in one length and one breadth. So in one length and one breadth, I have 20 tiles. Okay, so far so good? Alright, so if I have 20 tiles in one length and one breadth, I know that the diameter of one tile is 20. So the diameter of 20 tiles is going to be 20 times 50 cm to give me 1000. Okay, this will give me 1000 cm. Understand? So I have 20 tiles here. Sorry, not 20 tiles here, but rather the length and the breadth make up 20 tiles. Okay, the length and the breadth make up 20 tiles. So that will give me 1000 cm. Since I have perimeter is made up of 2 length and 2 breadth, so that will be 2000 cm. Okay, 2000 cm. 1000 times 2 to give us 2000 cm. And we want it in meters. So from cm to meters, just divide by 100, we will get 20 meters. So our final answer would be option number 2. Understand? Alright. Do we understand what's going on here? How many of you need me to explain one more time? Anybody? Okay, anybody need me to explain one more time? If not, for those of you who are still here, remember I have a silly story for you. Stay tuned, I will let you know the silly story in a few minutes time. Before you go, let me give you a quick rundown of what we have just gone through today, okay? So today we talked about the push-up method to find perimeter. Okay, push-up method to find perimeter. The result or the conclusion for when we have triangles with the same base. So triangles with the same base tells us that the ratio of the heights equals to ratio of areas. That's the second thing that we learned today. Okay, the third thing that we went through was how to find overlapped area when we have overlapping shapes. Okay, how to find the overlapped area when we have overlapping shapes. Okay, and number 4, the last thing that we are talking about today is the cut and paste technique to help us solve questions. Okay, so we went through 4 different techniques today. I hope you have learned a thing or two from us. This is Coach Shahira. Thank you very much for staying tuned. Alright, for those of you who are interested to know the silly story. Okay, the silly story is actually really very silly. When I was younger, I had extra lessons in school, right? So after lunch in school, I went down, after the school ends, I went down, carry my bag, go to the recess, go to canteen, and had my lunch. Then after that, I left my bag on the seat, right? Then after that, I went to my extra class. Okay, so I was walking, and I was looking at my friend. So poor thing, I was telling her, so poor thing, your bag is so heavy. Then I look at myself, then I realized, oh my goodness, why are my shoulders feeling so light? Okay, I actually went to my extra class without my bag. So I left my bag in the canteen beside me the entire time, and I walked all the way back to my extra class without bringing my school bag. So silly, right? So stressed with work that I started to forget even my bag. So funny. Okay, anyway, thank you for tuning in. This is Coach Shahira. I will see you guys next week. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye. I will end this live in 5 seconds. 5, 4, bye. 3, 2, and 1. Thank you, everyone.